Hey, happy Friday. Welcome in. It's the PHNX Cardinals show presented by OG's. Flavor your Friday by heading to zenleafdispensaries.com. Use that code PHNX at the checkout. I'm Johnny Venerable. He's Bill Brack. We're here on your definitive Arizona Cardinal podcast. Like and subscribe. Leave us a 5-star wherever you get your programming. Pretty big matchup, Bill Brack, as the Arizona Cardinals attempt to win their second consecutive game in what seems like forever?
Yeah, first time since 2023 that will have happened. And it really feels eerily similar to last week, right? Where Cardinals just kept trending in the right direction, getting their work done on the practice field, staying healthy, getting ready for the Falcons game. And then we're ready to play come Sunday in week 10. And now in week 11, it really seems like the Cardinals are trending health-wise in the absolute right direction. I think as far as the way the teams match up in this contest, this should be another game that I think Jonathan Gannon and crew should be confident that they can come away with a dub for.
The line, we're going to talk about it later in the show, has moved consistently throughout the week. And the Houston Texans, I would say, are very much the darlings of the NFL right now. And I think subsequently the injuries that have happened to two AFC North quarterbacks, like a lot of people are like, oh yeah, Houston's making the playoffs. This is the perfect opportunity for the Arizona Cardinals behind Kyler Murray to play spoiler alert. And it does feel like the Cardinals are trending in a different direction than a lot of other teams throughout the landscape of the NFL. They're healthy right now, knock on wood. I mean, you saw it throughout the duration of this week at practice, save for some kind of bumps and bruises and some guys that are questionable. This is the healthiest this team has been, dare I say, all season, Bo, which is crazy because that's been the antithesis of what Bruce Arians and Cliff Kingsbury and company. This team has struggled to get to Thanksgiving healthy, yet you look at the injury report, I mean, they're good to go for this weekend.
Yeah, they are. I mean, you had a couple surprises, right, where Mario Dermacado was limited this week and then just didn't practice today. Yeah. I don't know if that's to try to get maybe Michael Carter up to speed on a very short basis after he just, came over from the Jets. Feels like less than 48 hours ago. But Dermacado added this game, and then Michael Wilson, a surprise addition, is limited in practice, questionable with that shoulder. I would imagine that he can probably go. But the biggest key is feels like you're at full strength on the offensive line, right? I know that we've given the flowers to Calvin Beachum for spot starting last week. The left side played very well, but DJ Humphries getting back in there with Kyler Murray, one of the top two highest paid players on this offense going together. And DJ was very complimentary of Kyler Murray during the rehab process. I'm sure he's excited to finally get back out there with his QB1 and slow down, this Texans pass rush. We'll see who's available for the Texans on defense. I mean, it was surprising to see Will Anderson was a DNP today. He didn't practice in Houston. He's questionable for the game with a knee, and they're down, their second and third tacklers in the linebacking core. This is something like where I think that you feel like the momentum's probably on the wrong side of the sidelines come Sunday. Like, as you mentioned, people are talking with Joe Burrow going down, serious injury there to an AFC quarterback, and the Texans playing well of late. A couple dramatic victories behind the gunslinger rookie quarterback in CJ Stroud. But it's got to be, you got to play team football here. And as far as being down key members on your defense against an offense that's trending in the right direction, it's not great for the Texans. It could be a very humbling Sunday with all this momentum going their direction.
Love this comment here from Ryan. You guys are crushing it already in the chat. Hit that like button on this video. Help spread the good word of PHNX Cardinals. Ryan says, how are we feeling about 9-8 and a wild card? I'm here for that until it's not a reality. I think we're all here for that, Ryan. Absolutely. This team's going to try to win games, as we saw last week. Like the tanking narrative, we had fun with it into the offseason, into the regular season with Tank Tuesday. Like that's dead and buried. Right now, when K1 is under center, you feel like you've got a chance to win each and every Sunday. A couple super chats here. AZ Moses, 89, $2, calling it CJ has a rookie game and the Cards win. I happen to agree with you. I think Jonathan Gannon and Nick Rallis have a bag of tricks up their sleeve to be able to make CJ Stroud look like a rookie. And that hasn't happened very much to him this year, although he threw a bad interception at the end of last week's game, almost cost him against Cincinnati. Lou Anarumo is a fabulous defensive coordinator. Something tells me, though, that Gannon and company, they're going to try to throw the kitchen sink at him this week.
Yeah.
I think that you make this team one-dimensional, and we talked about it. You're able to get some penetration with the defensive line, B.J. Ojulari and company. They've been exploding with their pass rush as of late. I think you can expose CJ Stroud in a way really he hasn't been yet. He's got a 15-2 interception touchdown to ratio, which is absurd. He's on pace for the greatest rookie passing season of all time. At some point, we talked about this on our audio-only podcast. I encourage people to check it out, PHNX_Cardinals, wherever you get your podcasts. Last night, Bo, at some point, the other shoe's going to drop for CJ Stroud. Like, this is not sustainable what he's doing. And maybe I'll have a face when we fast forward to December. It's like, oh, yeah, 30 touchdowns to 4 picks. If he does that, good on him. But something tells me, again, that rookie wall is going to come. Will it come this week? Will it come next week? This is a team that they lost to Indianapolis, right? They've lost to some bad teams. They lost to the Atlanta Falcons that the Arizona Cardinals just beat last week. So I would love to be in a position, and we talked about this, for the Arizona Cardinals, get out to an early lead and force the Houston Texans to become one-dimensional. Force CJ Stroud in a position where 3rd and 8, maybe 3rd and 11, long third down conversions, right? You stop Stingley in the backfield. Pierce isn't playing. You can make him uncomfortable because right now, the entire team, and this is a testament to this young man, they're feeding off of the rookie's energy. And if he plays poorly, I think the rest of the team plays poorly as a result.
Yeah, it's very possible. I mean, I don't know if we've ever seen, maybe outside, man, that wasn't even his rookie year, especially at the quarterback position, a signal caller throw a perfect season, right?
Yeah.
Like go through and not experience the hiccups that most rookie quarterbacks, experience. And I think that, talking to Gannon today, I asked him, what separates CJ Stroud from other rookies is the ability to play quick, right? To diagnose defenses quickly, to go through his progressions quickly and make quick decisions out there. And that's all well and good. But I think that means that the Arizona Cardinals are going to certainly try to dial up the pressure. Maybe not necessarily, and step in saying, hey, send some exotic blitzes, or he just asked to send some blitzes. Cardinals rarely send even 6 as far as rushing the passer. But if they can make CJ Stroud uncomfortable, I think that they're going to certainly have the game plan to do so. There's, Bobby Slowick, who's the play caller on the offensive side of the football, comes over from San Francisco. He came with D'Amico Ryans. Last time they saw Nick Rallis and Jonathan Gannon was in the NFC Championship game. And I know they were down a quarterback, but that offense, they weren't able to generate too much of it against Gannon's defense. So we'll see if they've got, a similar game plan defensively as they did. I know a lot went into the quarterback's elbow in that game, but, I think that they're going to be prepared for CJ Stroud. I mean, to think that he could go and reach superhuman levels like he's done the last 2 weeks, I don't know. I think I know that's how it's been trending, but this is the NFL. At some point when there's enough film on tape that you can make the proper adjustments defensively enough to get off the field enough. And I think that's a key part, right? Is this defense has to come out. I'm not so much on the offense's case here to start the game, but the defense has to come out of the gates fast against the Texans.
This might help. Mike in the chat, $2 super chat, friend of the program. Thank you so much, Mike. Noah Brown, the wide receiver that's been exploding as of late, he's out. Now, they're going to have a couple complimentary players. We're going to talk about them in the passing game. But, I mean, you hit the nail on the head, Mike, and Bo subsequently. Like, this defense, this pass defense has to be dramatically better than they were earlier this year. And they have been. Like, I would challenge anybody right now since, even the Cleveland game where they got blown out. Like, Deshaun Watson was very pedestrian in that game. They made Lamar Jackson look very pedestrian at State Farm Stadium. Geno Smith, that game was handed to them by their defense, the Arizona Cardinals. The offense just couldn't muster any points up with Joshua Dobbs. Since Budda Baker's return to the lineup subsequently with Jalen Thompson, Garrett Williams, like the secondary has been playing much better much better. Like, we can say, well, Atlanta's passing game is horrendous. They were never going to do anything anyway. I don't care who you are. You hold an NFL franchise to under 100 yards passing in a game. That's impressive. It's damn impressive. So can they muster up the same kind of performances that they've had over the course of the last 3 to 4 weeks? I think they absolutely can. Like, CJ Stroud, to me, if you were able to get him on the move a little bit while keeping him contained in the pocket, if he's flustered behind the line of scrimmage, because that offensive line isn't great. We know that. They were trading for Josh Jones during the preseason. Cardinals deemed him expendable. This is a game that it's teed up for an upset. And I know we're going to give our predictions later in the show. I honestly believe, and I said this on the audio only podcast last night, I have more confidence in a weird way for this week in the Arizona Cardinals to perform in a victory than I did last week. Because at the end of the day, the emotions coming from Kyler Murray's return, we didn't know what that was going to look like, right? Yeah. How would the defense play as a result? Atlanta was going to come in there and attempt to run the football. They did effectively. The Cardinals are going to come into Houston with nothing to lose, completely under the radar. Like, I get it. Yeah, I absolutely. You feel like Houston.
It's not like the New York Giants type of nothing to lose. Like, they just came. They usually come show up to lose, right? Like, they don't have anything going.
No. Like, completely flying under the radar. You would be. This is a young team for Houston too, by the way, and that plays into Arizona's advantage. Looking past the Cardinals, looking past a 2-8 team, albeit with Kyler Murray, they've got their sights set on. We're making the postseason. We're winning the AFC South. We can make some noise in the AFC. No, you're going to take an L this weekend, and I'm fairly confident of that, Bo. I'm fairly confident.
I see Didi in the chat, and it's kind of foreshadowing on a couple points I'm going to make later in the show. But looking forward to Garrett Williams making a statement this game. Absolutely. And I think, like what Johnny was saying about the secondary being different, like, we know the shortcomings, especially at outside corner. Like, Marco Wilson has had a flat-out disastrous season in his third season out of Florida. And, it continued last week with the play that he pretty much gave up on Drake London, and that's on the outside. That's, by the sideline. I think where CJ Stroud and quarterbacks going forward are going to have to try to find success are down the sidelines. Like, because as far as the middle of the field goals, I mean, we know about Kazir White, right? He's got some coverage ability, but, he's the war daddy in that defense. And then you got those three guys in the middle of that defensive secondary, Buddha, JT, and now Garrett Williams, where they're doing a great job just taking up anybody who wants to kind of run across the middle of the field. And we haven't seen a whole lot of success. The little success we have seen throwing the football is down the sidelines. And you almost get that extra defender as well with quarterbacks trying to get accurate, throwing that ball that direction.
I think the Cardinals front seven is playing maybe its most confident football to date. Like, again, we've seen them play well against the Commanders in week 1 when they were at full strength, but I don't consider Dante Stills a rookie anymore. Like, he's been a starting player for over a month in the NFL. Like, he's a staple of what they want to do. Zaven Collins had a good week last week, was one of their top players specifically against the run. And we're going to talk about it. The ascension of B.J. Ojulari. They're just so much younger and athletic than they were, I think, at that position group than to start the year. And I think that's going to bode well in these games. Like, what trends well as the season progresses in the NFL? Physicality, right? Which they're doing better and better every week. Young athleticism. Trey McBride, B.J. Ojulari. Where did the Cardinals fuck up continuously under Steve Keim? Old, broken down players. Rodney Hudson, A.J. Green. These guys couldn't, even D-Hop at times, couldn't get to December football. Over 30 years old, making bloated salaries. The Cardinals are the antithesis of that with the youth on their roster, playing with confidence, don't have a bunch of miles on their body, right? Like, that's going to play well to this team, because I'm very much of the mindset, like, they've taken their lumps. They got embarrassed in Cleveland. They lost their fair share of games in the first half of the season. Oh, well. Everybody feels a little bit more comfortable and confident what they do. Even somebody like Marco Wilson. Like, you go through it week in and week out. You practice with your coaches. You feel more confident with Nick Rouse and Drew Petzing and what they want to do. But specifically on the defensive side, like, this is a unit right now with 3 rookies in PFF's top 10 from last week. Dante Stills, arguably outside of Jalen Carter, is one of the best rookie defensive linemen in the NFL. Rookie defensive tackle. You could say he's number 2 to Jalen Carter in the NFL, which is unheard of. But that's what they've molded. That's what they've crafted defensively. And I think Victor Dumakaji flashed again last week, right? Like, Maybe this is a Garrett game. You can pick your spots now where you're like, not like, hey, Dennis, go play 100% of the snaps. We know that doesn't look good. Hey, Josh Woods, we need you out in coverage for 60% of the time. No. They're in a way better spot now. The depth, while still needs improvement in the offseason, much more confident and solidified in what they want to do. And they know, more importantly, who they are.
Yeah. Talked to pass rush coach Rob Rodriguez today, and he's very confident in the way that his group is playing. I mean, he made the point, obviously everybody wanted to talk about BJ Ojulari after such a fantastic performance last week against the Falcons with 2 sacks, I think 7 or 8 total tackles. But he said, like, people would be wrong in assuming that BJ Ojulari, and I'll get back to like his path in his development, but like people would be wrong assuming that he was the greenest, most raw pass rusher of this group, because the misconception is Zaven Collins is. Zaven Collins didn't play the position. Zaven Collins is starting to find his way, continue to be part of a group, Johnny, that's 3rd in the NFL and TFLs. Arizona Cardinals, their no household name pass rush group is 3rd in the NFL, and that's thanks to all these guys. It's a collection, right? Dumakagi, who's probably one of the most underrated players in the league. Dante Stills, a 6th round and a final piece of Monty Ossenfort's first draft class. Gardeck, what he does. Collins, it's a really impressive group. And now BJ Ojulari, who Rodriguez says this was a guy that came in that was just not healthy. He had that procedure. He's been using, the better part of training camp to get healthy, and then of course to start the season and get back in the football shape as he came off of the non-football injury list or the PUP list. So, it's a really impressive group, and it's going to have to be a group that really gets it going to disrupt and take a guy like CJ Stroud, who's playing at such a high level. I think it was like Ryan who said in the chat, like, this is a team that, let's slow down on the CJ respect. Like, people are just like, they want him to continue to prove it. And this is a sneaky good test for Stroud, because I think that the Cardinals in their defensive game plan should come in with a solid one.
I mean, he threw 5 touchdown passes against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Yeah. I mean, it's in Tampa Bay, we've seen incredibly fraudulent this year. They haven't played anybody. They just really have not, outside of Cincinnati. And now we know Cincinnati, Joe Burrow was hurt last week. Can we say that with no T. Higgins? Like, you're getting a fresh Kyler Murray, man. We talked about it on the pod last night. Since week 1, when they got housed by Baltimore and Lamar did what he wanted to, name me a quarterback as athletic and dynamic that they play. They haven't played Mahomes. They haven't played Josh Allen. They haven't played the elites, right? They're going to play Kyler Murray on Sunday. And I would imagine he's going to have their defense and their coordinator spinning, their heads spinning. DeMeco Ryans, once upon a time, was undressed by Kyler Murray multiple times. I mean, he knows what K1 can do, and he had a tough time stopping it with Nick Bosa and company. We're going to get to more of game predictions here. I do want to ask you, Bo, Michael Carter didn't practice today. Is he likely to be a healthy scratch on Sunday? What are your thoughts on RB2, especially with DeMercado not expected to play?
Yeah, I mean, DeMercado is officially out, and then you've got Carter. Let's bring up the injury report if we could take a look at the Cardinals side of thing. There it goes. We got it on night vision, so it's tough for me to see here. But and Michael Carter was in on Friday, and he was a guy that he did practice normally. He wasn't limited or anything like that. He was only on it because they had to designate him as resting yesterday, as he was a participant in practice. He was out there, but as far as like once they broke down beyond position drills, he didn't practice because I'm sure he was just getting up to speed. I mean, this is a guy straight off the airplane. So I think with the DeMercado thing, it could create a path to him playing. I mean, this is going to be a heavy James Conner day. Like that's not a surprise to anybody. I mean, with James Conner healthy, that's just going to be the case until he's not. Because then your other options are just it's Ingram, who I don't think has a whole lot of faith, in the coaching staff any longer. I mean, he did see a series to kind of keep James Conner on a pitch count last week, but unless they decide to elevate Tony Jones Jr., I just don't think that there could be a spot for Carter to get in there. But I don't think if he does, it's going to be his role would be pretty small, pretty minuscule.
I think you'd have to set him up for a role where he does touch the football, because I think, to Bo, what we talked about earlier this week, like asking him to do a lot, as a pass protector might be dicey, but just, hey, go out, run a flat route, or hey, dive left or whatever you want to do, novice terms, like he can do that. Lorenzo, we got a Houston Texans fan, I'm assuming, in the chat saying Texans going to hurt the Cards' feelings. I don't know, man. We're pretty Teflon. If you watched our season, we beat Steelers by 20 points. We beat the Jaguars by 20. We beat the Saints. We beat the Bengals. Y'all slow down on Texans. Ain't play nobody elite. These all playoff teams. I mean, are you sure the Saints are making the playoffs? And listen, you also lost to Carolina. I think there's also a situation in which like Texans play down to their competition as well. They play up for games, absolutely. But I think they, off of 2 big emotional victories, subsequently each of the last 2 weeks, like let's see, they got picked apart by Baker Mayfield. This feels like a vintage Kyler Murray game. Now, right now, the folks in Vegas, not on the Cardinals side, this line opened up at 5, then it dropped to 4. Now it's back up to 6, which would suggest a lot of people taking the Houston Texans. That's okay. We're going to ask you, take us with you when you go to DraftKings. Fans using that sweet, sweet bonus code PHNX. I can't believe it. Can you believe we're this deep into the NFL season? We got to make every second count with DraftKings Sportsbook. You can make the most out of the game. Bet on your favorite teams for a shot to win big bonus bucks. New customers can score 150 instantly in bonus bets. All you got to do, put a 5 spot on a game, a prop, whatever you want to do. It's a call to action. Do it with our friends at DraftKings, official sports betting partner of the NFL. Download the app now. Bonus code PHNX. New customers, again, 150 instantly in bonus bets, 5 spot on the NFL. You got to dabble on the NFL. Gambling problem, call 1-800-GAMBLER or visit www.1800gambler.net. Again, help is available for your gambling problems. Play responsibly on behalf of Boot Hill Casino and Resort. Again, check them out. 21 years at UpSee. Sportsbook.draftkings.com/football terms for eligibility and deposit restrictions, terms, and responsible gambling resources. DraftKings pick of the week here on a Football Friday. I'm going to go in anytime tutty, and I'm going to go with the guy who just missed last week. I think he finds the end zone this week with his best friend, Hollywood Brown, plus 180, anytime touchdown. Dabble with PHNX, and you're going to get $150 in bonus bets. I like Hollywood Brown to score a touchdown this week. Close last week, more comfortable with K1 this week. Book it, finds the end zone.
I like the friendly banter going on in the chat. I can respect that. Lorenzo jumping in, asking for some respect on CJ Stroud's name, and we're given that. But we'll get more into the conversation, the back and forth. Appreciate him being here, taking in a PHNX Cardinals show, getting some insight on the team that's coming to Houston on Sunday. Got to tell you about our friends over at Shady Rays. You are a week away from their Black Friday sale. Get in and save more on the sunglasses that already have a price point well below $100. And man, are they fantastic. They're durable. They are a world-class product, premium polarized shades from Shady Rays with a protection and replacement plan that's tough to beat. I mean, you break your sunglasses, they're going to replace them, no questions asked, no matter how long you've had your shades. One day or a couple of years, they're going to replace them for you. We love Shady Rays. Make sure to cash in on their Black Friday sale going on. And Shady Rays currently have their biggest sale of the year for Black Friday. Don't miss on the best deals for the shades. Snow goggles, prescription sunglasses. Go to shadyrays.com. Try for yourself the shades rated 5 stars by over 250,000 people. Check them out. shadyrays.com. And of course, you can check them out. Kierland Commons up in North Scottsdale. You can check out their store and tell them the promo code PHNX. They'll honor the deal for 50% off 2 or more pairs premium polarized sunglasses from Shady Rays.
Shady Rays about to have a damn fine Black Friday sale, as are we at gophnx.com, the merchandise locker. I'm going to tell you more about that here in a hot minute. Oh, look at that. How about right now? 90%. Up to 90% off. Spend $75 and get a $15 gift card. Hello, I see a couple PHNX Cardinals tees. You guys probably like balk at the idea, 90% off. No, man, we had, or gals, we had like a $2 t-shirt on the merchandise locker last year for sale. It was awesome. You want supremely gifted t-shirts, like not super weighted, 100% cotton BS. No. I wear these t-shirts all the time. I wear them to bed. I wear them out. I wear them to work out. They are fantastic. And the array of t-shirts that we have is unmatched. You can get them right now up to 90% off for Black Friday. Again, spend $75, get $15 gift card. Plus, if you become a diehard, you get a t-shirt for free. Plus, you get an additional 20% off and free shipping. It's just like we're just revamping people's wardrobes, and it's flipping fantastic here. We're giving out deals left and right, but the only place you can find it, Bo, the PHNX locker at gophnx.com.
I load up every year. Can't
You're
wait.
Santa.
And yeah, I am. I almost to a fault. People are like, "Oh, great, you got me gear from the company you work for. You're a cheap ass." No, but
And
this
then
is
they put it
quality
on,
stuff.
and then they love
And
it.
then they put it on. You crack me up when you say you wear it to sleep like it's a night shirt, like you're somebody's grandmother, and you've got an oversized night shirt that you wear to bed. I
J.R.
don't want
Gordon call me saying it's weird that I wear a shirt to bed. I get
a
chilly,
little bit
J.R.
weird.
Gordon.
Come on,
Not in the
living in the
summer
desert.
months.
Oh man. So look, I mean, I don't think we're disrespecting, the Texans at all. I do. I think that as far as the people that need to respect CJ Stroud and what he's done so far, his 2023 rookie resume, Jonathan Gannon and crew are very impressed, right? And they're not going to come in to Houston not prepared for that. And it's going to be Stroud. It's going to have to be a lot of Tank Dell. As you mentioned, Noah Brown is out. And you look at where they've had success with that, it's kind of been in the slot. And I think that's where Garrett Williams can really face his toughest test of his young career so far. So it's night shirt Johnny. We'll get into the matchups in a little bit here.
I forgot my
Producer
jammy
Damon.
jams. I need my jammies. Listen,
But
all
it's
right.
yeah.
I'm from the Midwest. I get cold easily. Sometimes I like to wear a shirt to bed. And most of the time when that happens, you don't like get out of the shower before you go to bed and like throw on a shirt sometimes. My shirt of choice. Like, look,
What
I've
do you
got a
do?
shirt on underneath this. Look at this. We're doing this in the moment here. I have a sweatshirt on.
You're
I'm
not
cold.
Donald Duck in it though, right? You're
I'm
not
going to
just
tell you
going
right now, I
shirt.
bet it's a PHNX shirt. Oh, you bet your sweet ass it's a PHNX shirt. I'm a man of my word here. Continue. The adults are talking.
Right.
Continue in the room.
When you look at this game, though, with you got Stafford down the line in next week, right? The Cardinals take on Stafford if he can stay healthy through this week, which is a big F, right?
Yeah.
And then you got Pickett and the Steelers, who've got a minus 27 point differential this year. They can't score points. You got Brock Purdy, Justin Fields, Jalen Hurts coming in week 17, and then Geno in week 18. Like, this might be the sneakiest, most exciting electric quarterback matchup of the season, even with those quarterbacks coming in. Probably Kyler Hurts is the top one, but I think Stroud might be a solid B on this.
People are looking at this game as the hot ticket for like red zone. I think it's got the highest over under this weekend. There's a lot of gross lines this weekend. If you're on DraftKings, like gross meaning like double digits, like Panthers and Dallas, right? Like that's a gross line. This is +6 right now for the Arizona Cardinals. The over under is 48, and just kind of off the cuff, like it's only matched by Bears Lions with the return of Justin Fields. So like I think people think like Kyler Murray, CJ Stroud, like shot for shot, touchdown for touchdown. I do think we're sleeping a little bit on the Cardinal defense. Like Cardinal defense has been playing better lately. They have only looked, in my opinion, unwatchable at times against the Niners and against the Giants. Like, and we had Sam Monson and Pro
Who
Football
was gone
Focus
those games?
Yeah. We had Sam Monson and Pro Football Focus on earlier this week. And basically, he's like, the Cardinals defense on paper was supposed to be not only the worst in the NFL, it was supposed to be historically bad. And that's what led to, in lieu and combination of Kyler Murray's absence, a lot of people thinking the Cardinals were going to go 0-17. I think a co-story for this year with Kyler Murray's return is how well the defense has played. And I was always of the mindset, you go back and check the tapes from this summer, they were going to get better as the year went on because they're just too well coached. Like Jonathan Gannon and Nick Rallis. Nick Rallis was courted to come here. Philadelphia wanted to give him the defensive coordinator job. He said, no, I'm going to go with Jonathan Gannon. And so, yeah, it might have been ugly against Daniel Jones in the second half. Shield your eyes. It was horrific that day. They have gotten subsequently better. They look like a very competent unit. They look well coached. Like outside of the egregious penalties that happened with Marco Wilson last week, like, are the Cardinals getting run over? Do they have a bunch of penalties? Like, they are a well-coached unit on both sides of the ball. They're a great pre-snap. Like, all that BS that you saw with Sean McDermott and company earlier this week against the Denver Broncos, that's not happening to the Cardinals. The Cardinals are maximizing, and this should get you excited to be a fan of this team, maximizing the talent that they have on the roster. That's the biggest compliment I can give this coaching staff. I think we'll see it come to fruition this week a little bit more with some robust stats with Kyler Murray. But defensively, like the tackle for loss statistic you read me, like they have no business being that good. And it goes back to who's coaching the team.
Yeah, no doubt about it. I mean, it's refreshing to see staff do less with more or more with less than a staff that's doing less with more, roster wise. I mean, that was the case previous couple seasons, especially last year, and at the end of 2021, where I think they squandered a really rock solid roster, and it's an inability on the coaching side to make adjustments down the stretch in that season. But it's a key subtraction from another straight week. I know he's had a down season, but Dameon Pierce not being in the lineup again for the Texans, and I know Singletary went off last week against the Bengals for like 150, and he's a dual threat guy. He can catch the ball out of the backfield. I think that Rollis is one of the big tasks at hand. To what you had said earlier, is really making this offense one dimensional. And I know that CJ Stroud is exceptional throwing the football this year, but if you're able to make him one dimensional, that's where you could really kind of set yourself up to capitalize on some mistakes. And the Cardinals haven't been very good as far as turning the ball over, and they've got to change that trend this week. But it starts with them slowing down the run game and not letting Singletary kind of give this offense a boost by being kind of the running back they've been looking for all season long.
Wow, super generous super chat coming down the pipeline. This is from Saint Blurry, 1999. Slow at the barbershop. Happen to y'all live. Keep up the great work. Thank you so much. You guys have been fantastic. Super generous donation on a Friday. And then our guy Lorenzo basically saying that, yeah, if the Cardinals win, I'll come back, pay my respects next week. We appreciate the sincerity in the chat. You guys are fantastic. You make this show worth doing. Absolutely. We're nowhere without our PHNX Cardinals community. I think this game, at the end of the day, these are two teams that, I mean, the Houston Texans, we forget, were lumped in with the Arizona Cardinals in terms of expectations for this year. And now they're having a fantasy Cinderella kind of season, and that's exciting for them. But I think Cardinal fans ought to be just as excited because now you have your quarterback back in the fold. These are two teams that are really highlighted by their rookie class. Like, no matter, I think the Cardinals have a really good chance to win this game. Regardless of the outcome, though, man, like, this is not the Cardinals of a couple of years ago with Steve Wilkes winning, quote unquote, meaningless games at the end of the season, right? These are two teams that are going to be incredibly trendy picks 2024 and beyond because of the state of the roster. Like, the Houston is very much built with their offense right now. The Cardinals have a DNA of Kyler Murray and Jonathan Gannon defensively, but I would be very optimistic if I was a fan of either of these franchises, given what they were able to do in an offseason, because there's nothing worse than going through the duration of an offseason and have everybody tell you you're terrible, your team's terrible, you have no future. I mean, like, who would you rather be right now? A Cardinal or a Texans fan, or, I don't know, a Cleveland Brown fan? Deshaun Watson making $63 million each in the next 3 years. Like, I know the Browns have a better record and they might have better personnel like that. The LA Rams, for instance, like, the Cardinals play them in a week. Like, what's the outlook of their team looking like without Stafford and Aaron Donald maybe in 6 months from now? Where are the trends coming from? And I think Houston deserves the record they have. They won some nice games this year. Cardinals are way better than their record indicates of 2-8 because of who's playing quarterback this weekend.
Yeah. I mean, and giving, the organization an opportunity to get a look without really too much pressure on his shoulders and expectation to go out there and perform and really kind of lock his spot in for the future of this team, and then them build around him. I think that people are really excited about, how competitive this team has been under JG, as we pointed out, doing, more with less. And Monty Osfort being the guy kind of building the roster, finding guys, that weren't necessarily going to get opportunities in this league, but he felt fit the scheme the best. And like, when you try to diagnose how they were able to get into the top three as far as TFLs, it's like Monty Osfort played a big role in understanding that these are players that with Nick Rollis and Jonathan Gannon's defensive scheme can get after the quarterback, can get into the backfield and make plays. And that's a huge part of it. And that this team, as they did with the quarterback position after the joint practice and the preseason finale in Minnesota against the Vikings, that they weren't going to accept what the quarterback position was producing or lack thereof at that point. And they pivoted, right? And as we've seen issues on the outside cornerback spot, or, maybe undermanned at the defensive line spot, they've tweaked. It's like, feels like each and every week. I know we've seen Marco Wilson there each and every game, but from Keitrell Clark starting games to pivoting to Thomas to getting Antonio Hamilton some reps and realizing, like, just tweaking and tweaking and tweaking until, the product starts to work, and they can, have a successful process that produces results. And it's really why I think people are buying in or excited about a 2-8 team. It like I know somebody said in the chat, it's like one of the most exciting 2-8 teams we've seen in the NFL history.
And we know why they're 2-8. They didn't have their court. Like again, it's one thing to say like, oh, Kyler Murray underachieved and they're 2-8, like that Deshaun Watson season where they won 4 games. Kyler Murray hasn't played. He's back now. They're 1-0. It's the second half of a season. Like they are judged not on those first 9 games. They're judged on Kyler Murray and how he performs as a team. If this team goes, 5-3 and Kyler Murray's 8 games, that's a huge benefit for this franchise. Nobody's going to remember how the season started. Oh my goodness. What a super chat. I hope Mike meant to do this on purpose. Mike, $50. Unbelievable, my friend. Friend of the program. Is it going to be Stafford or Wentz for the Rams? Oh my God. Could you imagine Stafford at State Farm Stadium a week from Sunday? Put all your monies on the DraftKings Sportsbook app, Cards money line that day. I would absolutely, Gannon and company would absolutely embarrass Carson Wentz at State Farm Stadium. Thank you so much, Mike. So generous.
Yeah, huge. He finally got out from. You should use that money maybe to get Clancy. I don't know where he is. Bail him out wherever he's doing his podcast from. But Mike, of course, back in my lockdown days. But big thank you to you, Mike. So generous. $50, unbelievable. So. Yeah, I mean that's the situation that's going on in Los Angeles, and that's who's on tap for the Cardinals. And I don't think that this is a team that's going to get caught looking forward because what their record is. This is a team that's very where their feet is right now, as JG likes to say all the time, as far as focused on their next opponent, and that's Sunday in CJ Stroud and the Houston Texans. And they've got just an endless list. I mean, we see some back and forth about Noah Brown, where he is officially questionable. He hasn't practiced all week. He's DNP every single practice this week. Dameon Pierce officially out, and then Will Anderson Jr. is questionable, who didn't practice today. I don't know what that's all about. It's going to be something fascinating to follow along with this weekend for the game on Sunday.
Let's get to the matchup.
Will Anderson doesn't play.
I'd kind of be disappointed. Like, I want the Cardinals to win, but I was looking forward to watching him against Paris Johnson Jr., maybe the returning DJ Humphries. And I'm telling you, man, B.J. Ojulari, more sacks than Will Anderson Jr. I know it's not everything, but I want to see young players play and play well, and I was looking forward to watching him play. It'll be interesting, man. No practice today. That doesn't bode well for Sunday. I think this matchup bodes well for the Arizona Cardinals. Let's get to it, Bo. It's our matchup of the week here on PHNX Cardinals. How about this is like a rookie program. It's a rookie show. It's a rookie who's who. It's Garrett Williams against not Tank Deli. Is it Tank Deli? Yeah, it's Tank Dell. Tank Dell, 28% slot routes. He's had a banner season. How about the young man out of Syracuse, Bo, that recently came off of the injured reserve PUP list back in October? Seemingly hasn't missed a beat. Rocking Patrick Peterson's 21, doing it justice. I like this matchup.
Yeah, I do too. And, we might see Dell, who 28% on the season in the slot, maybe some more, as Noah Brown also took some of those routes as well this season. You see also Bobby Trees, who's been running some plays out of the route, out of the slot. So they like to move it around a little bit with Houston, but defense or offensively. But I think Garrett Williams is, as Didi pointed out earlier in the show, is poised for a big game. Like we've seen Garrett Williams perform already, and in his short tenure since returning from the non-football injury list due to an ACL tear in his final collegiate season at Syracuse. But this is a great matchup. Like I'd love to see 21 versus 3. I think that right out of the gates, Garrett Williams can, he's physical, he's sticky, playing that slot nickel corner, and it presents a good matchup. I think that Williams can win, about 50% of the time. And that should be enough, especially if you get him in a third and long situation, the rookie quarterback for the Texans and CJ Stroud. So that's one of the big matchups I'm looking at, with all the, some of those playmakers already being kind of trending towards out for CJ Stroud and crew.
Trending toward in for me and my sweet bank account. It's my friends, your friends too, Desert Financial. It's the official credit union of the Arizona Cardinals for more than 84 years. Desert Financial has been Arizona's largest and most trusted local credit union, when we were switching credit unions, banks about 6 months ago, I wanted something convenient, easy to use, and most importantly, Bo, had locations everywhere here in the Valley, so it was always easy for me to get my money. That's what Desert Financial Credit Union does for me and can do for you on top of checking, savings accounts, mortgages, loans, credit cards, investment options, and more. They offer financial solutions tailored to helping real people achieve their financial goals and dreams. And best part about it, if you're an Arizona sports fan, there's no better place to do your banking than Desert Financial Credit Union. You can show your team spirit specifically for our sweet, sweet Arizona Cardinals. Represent the Red Sea with the Arizona Cardinals Visa debit card. Check them out. Open a free checking account online. Get that Visa debit with Arizona Cardinal logo. Go to desertfinancial.com/Cardinals. That's desertfinancial.com/Cardinals to get started.
Let's give you an easy option for a serious investment. And I'm talking about flooring, whether it's at your apartment, your condo, your house. Obviously, it's something that is a very serious, investment that you need to make. And Empire Today keeps shopping for floors simple, curated product selection that they have, and their philosophies to help you find what you need and not overwhelm you with thousands of choices and substitutes. They leave the selection process making you feel a lot better about your decision. They've got Empire Today's virtual floor designer. It's a great way to see how new floors would look in your apartment, in your condo, in your house. Shopping for floors at big box stores, that really can be frustrating, right? You got somebody who is just working at the Blockbuster that just closed down, knows nothing about flooring. Empire Today prides itself. They're a convenient shop at home service. They'll help customers shop for floors, and they use their floors and see exactly how their new floors will look with their homes, their lighting, whatever different variables you got while shopping for floors. Don't miss out on it. Schedule a free in-home estimate today. All listeners can receive $350 off discount when they use the promo code PHNX. Restrictions apply. See empiretoday.com/PHNX for details.
It's gut meter time, Bo Brock. We felt pretty good in our guts last week. How do we feel? Do we feel like there's going to be some gutting that goes on this weekend in Houston by Jonathan Gannon and company? Damon Dog, if you be so kind. How about that? I would say that's about 80%. We're going to effing gut these guys.
Yeah. I mean, last week it was maxed out, right? It was the return of the franchise signal caller. He got comfortable, and, those guys wanted to go to war and make the debut for Kyler Murray special. Now I think that they're getting more comfortable, and that's just kind of operating business as usual. So the we're going to gut these guys meter is going to, maybe the baseline is right around here, Johnny. Maybe it's about 80 and then gets about to 100 and then maxes out beyond that. So this is solid. This is just business as usual gut meter.
Donnie, our guy in the chat, saying broke up with his girlfriend. T's and P's. People are saying in the chat, we appreciate you, Donnie, choosing to spend your Friday with us. Hate hearing that, but at the same time, love that you're choosing to spend your time with us. Appreciate you, my guy. Mike in the chat, $5. Bo and Johnny don't spend all that money at Circle K and buy Clancy a candy bar. There's a lot of free Clancy in the chat right now.
Yeah.
I think he's free and having a good time here in the Valley.
Yeah.
Clancy.
Too free. Hitting up my phone, texting me all the time. We need to slow that guy down. But I'm here for you, Donnie. We're here for you, Donnie. It's always a brutal time, but it's going to be for the better. Hang in there. Hopefully your Redbirds, your Cardinals can make you feel better by the end of the weekend.
Yeah. And if you're in the Valley, specifically the West Valley, and you want to come hang out with your boys this weekend, we'd love to have you and everybody else at BetMGM. It's the BetMGM watch party this weekend for Cardinals at Houston Texans. Kickoff, it's early. It's 11 a.m. We're going to hang out. We're going to have drink specials, appetizers, pre-halftime, post-game show. Again, whomever's able to come out, we'd love to hang with you. Myself, Bo Brock, Britton Golden, Damon Dog, producer extraordinaire, the entire crew.
No, Damon's not going to be there.
Where's Damon going to be at?
Damon's a fancy boy. He's going to Vegas for this F1 race.
Oh, very fancy. Who's producing the show on Sunday? Do we know?
I don't think anybody is. I think it's going to be a rudderless ship. I don't think we're going to have anybody. We're just going to have to.
Well, I don't like hearing that. That doesn't set us up for success. If you want to come produce the PHNX Cardinals podcast, come out to BetMGM this weekend.
Well, here's the cool thing that we have on this Sunday. If you come out and join us at BetMGM Sportsbook out there on the Great Lawn, you have a chance to win tickets, a pair of premium seats, to the week after that game. So you get to see Kyler Murray's second home game for free. All you'd have to do, very good chance of winning those tickets. Come out, hang out with us until halftime. We'll announce a winner there. You can get 2 primo seats to see Kyler Murray lace it up again against Aaron Donald and Matthew Stafford and crew at State Farm Stadium.
Dub, instant dub. Donnie, he says, I'll be at BetMGM with y'all one day. That's on the bucket list. We'll buy your first beer when you come out. Come up and hang with us whenever you guys get a chance. We appreciate you in person, in this virtual space, wherever you guys consume the show. We appreciate you. Getting word, head of production, Jacob, will be producing our fine program on Sunday. So, Damon,
So we got to take that off the table. You can't come out and produce the show if you come out to BetMGM.
We'll let you click some buttons. Sure. Cardinals win. We'll let you do just about anything. You want to host the show? I'll be so excited. You may not be able to find me. Might be wandering the great lawn. I don't know if I can consume or handle myself. This team wins 2 in a row. God forbid. It's prediction time here on PHNX Cardinals on a football Friday. Bo, the floor is yours. I don't know what you're saying or your prediction. How do you think this game's going to go on Sunday for our Arizona Cardinals?
Let's take a look at it. Look at these sweet Nostradamus predictions of mine. I've got my offensive star. I just think it's going to stay on the shoulders, the legs of the RB1, the bell cow, the Arizona Cardinals run game. James Conner. He had a nice return, 16 carries for over 70 yards, didn't find the end zone. It was taken away from sweet baby Clayton Tune in there on the tush push. I think that this is going to be a big established the run game. It's going to continue to be a part of the acclamation of Kyler Murray. And I think that's just, the right thing to do with James Conner, potentially in big year in his career, or as could be restructured next year, or could be his final year with the Redbirds. I like number 6 this Sunday against this Houston Texans rush defense. And then I mentioned it, defensive side of the football. I really like Garrett Williams in this game. I think he's going to have an opportunity to potentially get his hands on a football. I've seen a couple predictions in the chat saying not 1, but 2. Wouldn't mind that. But look, if he gets 1, if they can just get that Texans offense off the field, one time with a turnover, that's going to be huge for Nick Rallis and this Cardinals defense. And then my X factor, I'm going to continue to say this. I think that Rondale Moore's role becomes more and more increased. Kyler Murray gets more and more comfortable back there. We already saw it with a season-high 8 targets last week, as we saw in the chat earlier, without Dermocado potentially not seeing the debut of Michael Carter. It looks like maybe you could supplement the James Conner, Kyler Murray run game with Rondale Moore, but what he's doing out of the slot in the receiving game, I think takes his role up even further of a notch. And I like Rondale Moore as the X factor. I like the Cardinals to go into Houston and come away with a 31-25 victory if all this goes well, as far as my predictions, like the offensive establishing the run, getting Rondale Moore involved, and Garrett Williams being a nuisance in coverage.
It's a little scary how close our predictions are. I like it. I love mine, though. And I'm going to start with the offensive star of this game. Who else would it be? It's Trey McBride. It's Trey Day, baby. Let's go. Trey McBride, dominant, abusing the secondary for the Atlanta Falcons last week. I'm going to tell you right now, probably not a good sign for the old Houston Texans. They're down to their 3rd string inside linebacker, safety combination. Who's going to cover number 85? I'm going to give you a hint. Nobody for Houston's covering Trey McBride. Trey area, whatever you want to call him. We're the McBridesmaids here on PHNX Cardinals, as my co-host coined it. Trey McBride is going to have another banner day because he and Kyler Murray, their chemistry is off the charts right now. Speaking of off the charts, B.J. Ojulari, we mentioned it. 3 sacks in his last, 3 games, including 2 last week. The arrow is pointing up on number 18 from LSU. He's getting more and more confident with each passing week. Looks like a freight train from hell, and I think is going to be able to expose what I think is maybe some limitations outside of Laramie Tunsil at offensive tackle. Gannon likes to move him around. Super athletic. The explosiveness is evident. The Cardinals had a lot of power rushers with Zaven Collins, etc. when the season started. Ojulari has that explosiveness, dare I say, Chandler Jones-esque off the edge. I think he gets home at least one more time this week against fellow rookie CJ Stroud. I wouldn't have been surprised. Did Ohio State ever play LSU at the collegiate level? Maybe this isn't the first time that the 2 youngsters have seen themselves. And then how about this? Same X factor, Bo Brock. I had initially had it somebody else like a Hollywood Brown. Then I'm like, no. Rondale Moore, I think, is going to have a couple big catches. I was watching some of his highlights with Kyler Murray from years prior. They can stretch the field to number 4 when they want to. And I often think he's the forgotten man in this offense. Like Hollywood Brown, deep threat, Michael Wilson, possession receiver, Trey McBride, dominant up the middle. Like Rondale Moore against like third and fourth corners, that's a win for the Cardinals. And I think he's got at least one big play for him this weekend that results in either a touchdown or like a 60-yarder. We know what he can do as a runner this year. Could we see some RPOs with maybe some question marks now? DeMercado's out. What's going on with Michael Carter? Could Rondale Moore and James Conner be in the backfield together? I don't know how he's going to do it, but I think Rondale Moore has a big game, all-purpose on Sunday. That leads to the Cardinals having a big dub. Like 30 points surrendered by the defense. Yeah, you probably don't love that. I think Kyler Murray carves up Houston's defense. I think we're looking up red zone, shot for shot, score for score. It's going to be very difficult for Houston to contain what the Cardinals want to do offensively, because you think about it last week, Atlanta's defense has been pretty solid this year. Like some would say maybe a little bit above average. Kyler Murray was basically sleepwalking his way to 30 points last week. He had some open receivers he's missed just because of timing, whatever. That's going to get cleaned up week after week. James Conner could have ran it in the fourth quarter. They would have eclipsed 30 points there. Like there was a lot, and we talked about it, meat on the bone last week that they didn't chew up. I think it gets chewed and then some this week. I think the Cardinals go over 30 points. Book it right now. DraftKings, whatever you want to do. Cards get the dub, as well as my co-host. We'll double down. Cardinals 2-game winning streak.
More, baby. Both of us had him as the X factor, and his game's trending in the right direction. I think he's finally getting comfortable in this offense. Was neglected a little bit when it wasn't Kyler Murray in the running quarterback being the trigger guy as far as Drew Petzing's offense goes. So Rondale Moore getting more and more comfortable. We'll see. Ryan saying, I'll be a McBridesmaid with you. Absolutely.
Put the veil up. I'll get my veil up right now.
I saw somebody suggest maybe Greg Dortch, number 83, being the X factor in this game. Certainly was the X factor in a win last week against the Falcons with that huge punt return. Could he be in line for another one? He's close, man. He's close to breaking it. Love to be able to talk to him on Tuesday about him finding the end zone in the first punt return since 2017 for this team. So far too long.
You know who that was?
Don't know.
I couldn't tell you. I was hoping you knew. I couldn't tell you. Does anybody know in the chat? Last punt return touchdown. Solomon Crowder at 19. You guys super chat, super generous. Glad to hear you like chips on your PBJ as well, Johnny. Hell yeah, my guy. Go make a PBJ, maybe some Doritos, maybe some original Lays, whatever you want to do. No one's going to judge you here. This is a judgment-free zone.
I will.
As we celebrate Trey McBride in company. Hit that like button down below. You like this hoodie? We got PHNX hoodies at the merchandise locker Black Friday on sale. I'm not going to say they're basically free, but they're free adjacent. Okay, there's gonna be some sales. You guys need to dabble. I don't know if it was Britton Golden. I know.
No, I don't think he ever. Yeah, I don't think he has one for the Cardinals.
For the Giants, though. God, have you seen Britton on Instagram? Like Britton looks like he could play in the NFL still. He's unbelievable. And then I'm just eating chips on a sandwich. We're fired up here on a Friday. In the meantime, I want to tell you, I get fired up just thinking about my friends at Burrito Express. Favorite burritos in the Valley. That is unequivocally a true statement. I got to the Valley in 2021. It's the best burrito I've ever had. Since then, it's my go-to spot. I love living in the East Valley now. So many different locations, but I love the Tempe location. Their green, I call it their green sauce, like special sauce, but then I was just told like that's just green salsa. I'm getting educated. It's fantastic at Burrito Express. Their breakfast burrito, I've had breakfast burritos all throughout this country. I had one at Disneyland last time I went. Nothing compares to Burrito Express. So they bring some free food to us once in a while, but I'm going to tell you right now, my kids love going there. Chips and salsa. We head out there on the weekends. Grab a burrito. Check them out. Burrito Express on Twitter at Burrito EXP. Tons of locations. I guarantee you check them out. Search them on your Google Maps. They're somewhere close to you. Load up on burritos. Watch Cardinal football. Perfect pairing.
Yeah, tough to beat. So we got Thanksgiving next week. You got the pressure of family, friends, maybe hosting or just get together in the holiday season, of course, buying gifts and all that stuff. Try to take maybe the edge off. Turn to our friends over at OG's Brands at Zen Leaf. Can't get better. than Arizona's favorite cannabis developed gummy. Check it out, ogsbrands.com, their full product line, and then go to Zen Leaf Dispensaries right now, your closest location, and order your favorite OG's gummies, whether it's that orange creamsicle, the aquaberry flavor. You can figure out if you like the fruits, the creams, or if you want to get one of those mix bags. You can order it at zenleafdispensaries.com. Use the promo code PHNX to get 25% off at checkout. This deal is exclusive to PHNX listeners, and it's only available for online and then in-store pickup orders. So you order online, you go pick it up. It's Zen Leaf Dispensaries, your closest location here in the Valley, with that discount code PHNX. It's active till November 30th. So take advantage of it now, and take advantage of our friends, our dear friends, OG's Brands and Zen Leaf on an OG's Flavoring Fridays.
CJ Stroud might be the runaway rookie of the year offensively. We got a rookie of the year t-shirt you can check out right now at the merchandise locker. It's hot, hot, hot. Get them while they're hot. The rookie of the year tees. You absolutely love to see it. Love to see PHNX Diamondbacks repping some new gear. And again, you get this for free if you become a diehard at gophnx.com. 20% off the merchandise locker. But your free first piece of merch is free on us. You know, I like rookie of the year. I like Cardinals gear. I like it all because I'm pretty sure most of it's going to be on sale for Black Friday. Yeah, man, it's been a fun week previewing this game. I cannot wait to be out at BetMGM with my PHNX brethren, talking cards, watching cards, and hopefully, Bo, is it too much to ask? Putting a win streak together. I just can't remember the last one. It literally has been so long.
Yeah, 2021 had to have been the last time that they were able to get a couple wins.
You weren't even on the show back then. Well, you and I have never seen it together.
I know. That's criminal. That's criminal. Whoever is responsible for that should be locked up.
Go to prison.
Immediately. Mac, what is he getting in here? Are we talking some smack here? Is Mac coming in from the Houston side of things? We appreciate that. We appreciate the opposing fans, as we saw Lorenzo earlier coming in and supporting his crew. Mac is definitely doing that with his squad, the Texans, here in the chat. But look, should be a fun one. We got tickets for the upcoming home game as well. Come win them at the BetMGM Sportsbook this Sunday with us. And if you wear your PHNX swag, as always, the offer stands. Beers on us, Johnny.
My guy, Mr. Estrada, because I'm going to butcher his name again. He says, Johnny, I'm going to get you a beer and teach you how to properly pronounce my name, brother. No, I will get you a beer. How would you pronounce his first name?
Anthony?
I said Antoine, but maybe it's Anthony Estrada. I failed Spanish multiple times in high school. It was not a good experience for me, but we're going to have a great experience this weekend at BetMGM. Beers are on Bo Brock and I. You come to BetMGM this weekend and you rep a single piece of merch, whatever it is. It could be PHNX Cardinals. It could be Diamondbacks Rising. Free beer. Man, super chats are unbelievable today.
Huge.
THB. It must be payday for everybody.
Kenny Marshall, yeah.
$40. You think Dortch will have another big return? I don't see why not, Bo.
Love to see it. Love to see it. I know that we're going to see an old friend on Sunday in the kicking game for the Houston Texans. It's remember the guy that missed the field goal against the Eagles, Matt Amendola?
Oh my God.
He's the guy he's their replacement kicker. Their starting kicker got injured, and Amendola is in, and he actually had the game-winning kick last week. He actually came through when he missed 42 yards for the Cardinals in that hectic Philly finish. We're going to see an old friend, Matt Amendola, who is just an utter disaster for the Cardinals in 2022.
I'm going to tell you right now, and I'm embarrassed to say this. I'm pretty sure Daddy Fantasy picked up Matt Amendola this week for fantasy football. I didn't even know who it was. But I mean,
listen, blacked out.
I was just like, oh, Houston's kicker. You know, they score some points. Let's get him on them. I didn't even realize it was the same dude. I blacked out that period of time. It was so right. Anthony,
I'm gonna get a notification that Daddy Fantasy made a move, and it's gonna be dropping Matt Amendola from your roster. I hope that's right.
On Sunday night when he goes 0 for 5. Oh, I will happily take the L in fantasy football this year or this weekend if it means I have to go to Waffle House if the Cardinals can get a dub. I will happily do that. That's how much this beat and this team means to me, man. But we all know Damon Dog, producer extraordinaire, is in last place. But we won't speak on that.
He is until he's not. He needs to scratch and claw his way out of there, right? We're pulling for you, Damon Dog. We're all Damon's dogs. We appreciate everybody, all the super chats, so generous today.
Unbelievable.
We appreciate everybody out there, everybody that tunes in. Of course, subscribe to this channel, PHNX Sports, for more of your favorite Valley Sports content. You got another jam-packed Valley Sports weekend. So you want to catch all the post-game shows, it's going to be right here. So subscribe, set up alerts anytime we go live. It's going to notify you, like we had that emergency podcast this morning, PHNX D-backs, when the Snakes came out with their new crispy uniforms. I like 3 of the 4 uni combos. What about you, Johnny?
Yes. Listen, you can't go wrong with black and red. We know how that rolls. It's the best color combination in pro sports. So I approve wholeheartedly.
Yeah, there you go. You got the Bronny Venerable stamp of approval. We'll see everybody on Sunday. Enjoy the rest of your Friday night.
Edward, thank you for the super sticker last minute.
And of course, enjoy your Saturday. We'll talk to you all Sunday from the BetMGM Sportsbook. Cardinals, Texans. Can't wait for it. Talk to you then.